It's literally 2 a.m. I have about 2 more hours before my alarm goes off, but I can't sleep. I'm in the bathroom, one, because I don't feel like turning on any other lights, and I really don't know how asleep my roommate is right now, and I want as much privacy as possible. Usually when I shoot any video, I want as much privacy as possible. But right now, I need to get something off my chest that kind of has me confused. So, speaking of my roommate, I got a text message from the subleaser that was like, hey, the roommate let me know, or the other subleaser let me know that you had locked her out and that you're smoking, and I just want to make sure you honor, one, you make sure she has access to the apartment and that we're, following the rules of the sublease. And I'm like, okay. First, here's the thing about the smoke. I had told her, and she does this too, burn candles. I had told her, which, by the way, that's what I got the other day when I bought my mirror. I got some more candles. I couldn't think about it, but I got 2 candles, and I had 2 other candles that I had burned before. But I told first my roommate, like, hey, I burn candles and incense. Does it bother you? She claimed it didn't bother her. I explained it to the subleaser. And also the stove, the 2 eyes on the right of the stove. Since I've gotten here, I always use the left side now, but since I've gotten here, the right side of the stove always smokes and burns when you turn on those eyes. So I stopped using those. I use the ones on the left, or a lot of stuff I bake, I put in the oven anyways. But when she cooks, she doesn't open a window, she doesn't open the door, she doesn't turn on the overhead fan over the stove. And there's usually smoke coming because I can smell it in the room where I'm at, even with the door closed. And I don't hear her in there coughing, wheezing, nothing like that. And she's supposed to have those respiratory problems. Okay, you have the respiratory problems. That's not necessarily something I can fix, change, or correct. But it doesn't bother you in the kitchen when you're cooking. And as far as the door situation, I did inadvertently lock her out twice. Both times, this is something that I explained to her when those issues happened. The first time, well, both times it was because I locked the door both times because 2 men, I don't know if they were the same men, had knocked on the door. The first time I didn't answer. Like, I looked through the peephole and I could see it was a man. I was like, oh shit, I'm not about to answer this door. And they eventually went away, but I still locked the door. The second time they knocked and they were, saying, hey, is anyone there? Hello? Trying to get a response from the other side of the door, from me or whoever was in the house. And I was scared to say something at first. I was prepared because, one, her guy only comes, from what I noticed, her guy only comes over when she's here, whether I'm here or not. He only comes for her when she's here. I don't have any company coming. So, this guy's very much a stranger talking about some hey, hello through a freaking door where 2 women are staying. So, I'm like, yeah, what do you want? Talking to the guy on the other side of the door, asking, trying to get a response out of whomever. And he was like, hi, I used to live here and I wanted to know if you had my mail. I was like, look, there's no mail here. You'll have to talk to, the owner of the apartment about that. And then they eventually walked away. And when she came back, I opened the door for her, and she was upset. And both times she was upset. The second time she was very pissed off, and I was like, I apologize. It's, again, I thought you were home. Like, she leaves her light on and she'll close her door. And to me, that registered as someone's in their room with the light on. Now, she's a PhD student. She's not necessarily in classes right now, but she's, she's working on her dissertation. And I try my best to respect, like her peace and quiet as well as her privacy. Although I feel like I have reason to believe that she opens my bedroom door when I'm not here, or at least when she thinks I'm not here. Because one time I was in the bathroom and it sounded very much like, I'm getting myself together, and I hear my door, the handle on my door rattle open and then close. And I'm like, what the fuck? But I'm trying not to be too paranoid, too judgmental, too untrusting, okay? But I'm thinking she's not in her room because her light is on. And I'm trying to explain to her, like, hey, I apologize. I see you're frustrated, but I just thought you were here. And, those guys or that guy has been coming and knocking on the door. The point I'm trying to get to is, both times when I inadvertently locked her out and she expressed like, hey, why'd you lock me out? Can you leave it unlocked? I'm like, yeah, those guys keep coming over, knocking on the door, and I think you're here because your light is on, the door's closed. I apologize. I'm just trying to be safe. You know what I'm saying? But with that, like, that little conversation, I don't know, maybe, I always seem to miss, well, I don't think I missed that social cue, but it's like, damn, I did lock you out. I apologize. I knew that was fucked up. It was wrong, even though I didn't mean to lock you out. I intended to lock the door. I didn't intend to lock you out. That was where I was, wrong. But I apologize. I'm trying to explain, girl, we're two women in here by ourselves. And that guy, or however many guys, they've knocked. I don't feel safe, even if you do, okay? That's what I'm trying to explain. So you go tell the subleaser. Now, what I'm thinking is maybe, like, she's just bothered by me. But mind you, she's not the owner of the apartment. Let me not take this too personally. But then again, like, okay, the day that I moved in, I had to knock for a while to get in because she had the top lock locked. Because she was in here by herself, okay? But when I had, when she finally opened the door, she didn't say hey to me. She didn't introduce herself. She was like, who are you? And it's like, okay, I understand I'm a stranger at your door knocking with a key. I explained to her that I just signed a sublease with the subleaser and today's my move-in day. I didn't know that she didn't tell you. Oh, okay. But I'll be torn between human nature and then how people do shit out of spite and shit. But she watched me unpack my U-Haul and pack my stuff in here. She monitored how, like, there were days when I was organizing and I would leave my door open. And she would monitor how I was organizing, or at least this is what it seemed like to me. And I was trying not to be too uncomfortable with it because I don't like being watched doing regular things. You know what I'm saying? I don't like knowing I'm being watched for doing very regular things. This is something that I had to bring up to management at work, feeling like I'm essentially being stalked, which is a form of harassment. But anyways, she's watching me unpack and organize, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna just start doing this with the door closed because this shit is uncomfortable. Like, girl, you don't need to watch me do my shit in my room. This is my shit. This is my room that I'm paying for. But anyways, I got the idea that, she had been so used to having her own space, having the apartment to herself, that I essentially was infringing on her space. So for the most part, I keep to myself anyway, but I'm definitely trying to be mindful of, if I'm not going, like at work or going doing something, I stay in the room. But she has a problem with every little thing. With most things, like, okay, when I get in the shower, I'll turn on the exhaust fan. That bothers her. You know what I mean? Like with doing the laundry, we decided on the days. I'm supposed to have Wednesdays and Thursdays. She's supposed to have Mondays and Tuesdays. But she washes when she wants to. No big deal, as long as, for me, it's no big deal as long as on Wednesdays and Thursdays, I'm free to wash clothes like this was in a text message now, because what was happening was we were washing around on the same days, and I was taking out her clothes from the dryer and putting them on her hamper, which happened to be dirty clothes. And I was like, oh shit, my bad, I didn't know that. I did, because, I'm thinking I keep my dirty clothes hamper in the bedroom, but she keeps it in the living room. I only keep my hamper in the living room or in the foyer area when I'm washing clothes. And I'm thinking, that's what she's doing. She keeps her hamper in the living room or the foyer area because she's washing clothes, but that's not it. She just keeps her dirty clothes in the living room. So I guess, or at least I thought, we got that, squared away. We handled that. I really, 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 really just need my own space. Because I'm trying not to take this shit personally. It's something so minuscule, but it's been minuscule things the entire time. Like I said, like the dishes, the laundry, the door, the locking of the door. Oh my goodness. Like, I don't play loud music in the middle of the night. And here's another thing about, like, not only do I feel like, she watches me or was watching me when I was getting my U-Haul unpacked and organizing my things, but like, it seems like if I've been in my room all day, here's another thing too about, like, I don't really know when she's in the room, because one, not only do I work in the mornings, but when I get off work, I'm napping. So I'll get up from a nap and I'll go to the kitchen, fix me something to eat and drink, and then I'll come back to my room and she immediately goes in there afterwards. The first few times I didn't think anything of it, but it became very habitual. Whenever I would leave the kitchen, she'd go in once she heard that I left it. And I'm just like, that's peculiar. I really just don't trust people in general. And I'm trying not to be like abrasive. Not trying to take up too much space because I'm fine with my little living quarters, the room and the bathroom, because that's all I need right now. I'm just trying to have a place to lay my head until, I don't know if my life is gonna change, but bitch, until I get the fuck up out of here. But you complain about something that, you complain about two things that we had talked about already. Maybe I shouldn't overthink it, but I'm going to anyway.